2015 MEP'S Top 7 Talk, Week 9. Last week, 1-5-1, not good. But we're giving a call to a couple of the members of the Young Husky Wolfpack here to change the mojo of the MEP'S this week. Bear with us as we connect to these gentlemen, and I use that term very loosely. Oh, look at this.
Yes, sir. I'm proud to be a Husky.
Welcome, gentlemen. Oh, absolutely. There's nothing else I'd be able to greet you with. What do we got going on here in the background?
We got ESPN 3D.
Yeah, you guys sponsored by ESPN?
Yeah.
I think we can get us the sponsor for this.
Yeah, we're in 3D.
If we get this over 30 views, do you think we can send it to ESPN and get some sort of contract going?
We're getting to at least 30.
How you gentlemen doing?
We're going to double all your views from last year.
I hope so. I don't know. MTF Dynamite, that's a tough one to outdo. Has he ever done that for you guys in person?
What?
Has Matt ever done the MTF Dynamite dance for you in person?
No, I still haven't watched it.
Yeah, you need to let him do that. Well, quickly here, I'll get going. I know you guys want to get your 2 cents in, and I know a couple of Fun Belt games on the menu for you had to have sparked your interest. But we're starting with one of Mr. Kevin Midday on the rights, a.k.a. Bubba's favorite teams, and I'm taking the Irish to cover 10 at game day at Temple. I don't feel very worried about this, and that should worry me as a Notre Dame fan, given the fact that they've over the years played down to competition in these types of situations. But it's a pretty damn good Notre Dame team, and I don't think Temple has the horses up front on both sides of the ball to sustain 4 quarters of Notre Dame running it down their throat. It'll probably be a 3 or 7 point game going late. Irish will tack on an additional score to cover this. What do you gentlemen think?
I'll start off with the Irish fans' perspective here. Originally, I thought it was going to be a Temple covering situation. I took a look at what Temple's coming in with, and they're going to blow them out of the water. Temple's no good. Haven't played anybody in a shit-ass conference. Take Notre Dame to cover all day long, and take the over. I don't know what it is, but take the over.
Okay. I like how you're throwing some over-unders in there, just like the ESPN did week 1 before they got embarrassed with how much they were promoting gambling. Number 6, the Don Shula Bowl in one of the dumbest.
Talk shit about
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I know you don't. I was trying to avoid you there because I know you don't like the Irish.
No, well, I don't like Temple either. Like, they're just there.
Oh, good.
Temple never could win the MAC East, and then they left. So what does that tell you about Temple? Notre Dame's probably going to win, but Temple will be fired up with game day and Bill Cosby and all that. The total's 49 in that game, by the way.
Over.
I'm that over. I think Bill Cosby. You're looking at like a 46 to 17 score.
Okay, I'll take that. Hopefully, Bill Cosby is nowhere near the premises. I think that would be some, unless that would be some bad juju for.
Lee Corso will be good TV.
Corso can just keep his outfit from last weekend and just rock it out in Pennsylvania this weekend. I think absolutely. 6, I'm taking the Golden Showered Panthers in the Don Shula Bowl, the dumbest rivalry game I've stumbled upon in my.
Wait, that's a real rivalry?
Yeah, it's referred to the Shula Bowl. And the best part about it is it's 2 directional Florida teams that Don Shula has nothing to do with. No ties, didn't go there, didn't coach there. But each of their coaches a long time ago each once coached under Don Shula. So they created a rivalry from that. That alone is retarded. But FAU is terrible. They're 1-6. Florida International, even though they're coached by somebody I do not like in Ron Turner, who drove the Bears offense into the ground for many years. They're 4-4. They're going for a bowl game. Why is this only 3? I don't know. It should be a touchdown. You guys got any thoughts on the big battle between the directional Florida teams?
FIU is going to win big. Yeah, quarterbacks can throw for like 3 touchdowns probably.
All right.
Awful. Ron Turner very well could lose the game for him, but I don't think he's that bad. I think he'll lose the game for them. Anything over Florida Atlantic. Shula Bowl's wild, but it's only 3 points, so.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. I thought it would be much higher. Number 5, I'm picking a team that I can't stand, but in this case, it seems like the smart play. I'm picking the Trojans. The hated Tequila Sark Trojans to cover 5.5 at Cal. My Cal buddy Chris Denise told me that they are going to get demolished this weekend, and he is the most optimistic Cal fan I know. But Cal, the last couple weeks, their defense has really been pathetic, and Goff is now having issues with their offensive line being protected, and he's throwing some interceptions. They're not moving the ball as well as they were earlier in the year. USC got their mojo back last week. I can't imagine they don't score 40 points on Cal. Do you think Cal hangs in there, or do you think the hated Trojans get the cover here?
I think we're both on the same page actually with Cal.
Okay.
They are going to give up 40 points, but they're going to score over that. Utah, coming off the loss to Utah, USC going to be down, the win at Utah, they're at home against Utah. There's going to be a letdown game, and Cal's also coming off a Thursday game. It's going to get an extra rest.
That's a good point. I would not be heartbroken if Cal won the game. I would be heartbroken if USC won by 5. I think that's how I look at it. Number 4, we're going to the MEP's favorite conference outside of the MAC and the SEC, the Fun Belt. The Arc Staters cover an 18 versus the team that I believe is the second worst team in the country, Georgia State.
Bad Georgia.
Georgia State, the really bad Georgia. Georgia State, I believe, has only gotten 2 wins in the last 3 years, and 2 of them were over 1 AA's. And the other one was, surprisingly enough, against Ball State just a couple weeks ago. That Ball State game really knocked this line down. I bet you it's 24-27 if they don't win that game. You guys think the Arc Staters cover this one by 3 tutties?
Absolutely.
Yeah, never bet on bad Georgia. Arkansas State, they live in Mobile at the GoDaddy Bowl.
The only reason
they'll probably be there like their 5th or 6th year.
That's pretty true.
The only reason you should be betting on the bad Georgia is if you do it accidentally.
Yeah.
I agree.
We've all been there.
Number 3 pick goes. It's not one that I wanted to put on here, but it makes little to no sense not to put on here, and it's moving already. I took it at 4. I'm sure it's moving already, and it's going to end up probably around 7. But the Yellow Jackets coming off the, what do they call it, the block 6? Not the kick 6, but the block 6 to end the Seminoles facade of an undefeated season. They're coming here. They're coming to Charlottesville. They're likely going to beat our butts. I really at a loss for the Who's season. I thought it would be better. They've definitely hung in there in some games that I thought they could have won and they maybe should have won. And Georgia Tech had a bad 5 weeks where they played down to their competition and blew a couple games. But you got to think coming off that win last week, they got all the confidence in the world. And after our second half last week, which I believe was 0 points and 4 turnovers against a North Carolina team that probably would give up 20 points to Georgia State, I don't feel good about and I don't feel good about the other fact is the only time that we've played well against Georgia Tech in the first 5 times that our coach has been here is when we had an extra week to prepare for them, and we don't have that this week, and I don't think it's going to be good. I mean, if I'm going to be wrong about one game, and it's not the USC game, I'm all right if it's this one, but it just doesn't seem like we're going to have enough offense and be able to stop the triple option as they've kind of resurrected their season as we head in the wrong direction. What do you guys think about my Who's?
I think both teams are bad.
It's pretty true.
But in my mind, it's probably I'm tempted to take the 4 points.
Okay.
But like you said, it might be working its way up closer to 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta go with the Yellow Jackets on this one. But I wouldn't be shocked if Virginia did somehow go out and cover. I do have memories of your Wahoos giving Notre Dame a game in week 2. So that does scare me, but I'd be going with the Yellow Jackets on this one.
Any thoughts, Brant?
Yeah, they're both bad. His schedule has been pretty tough this year. I was looking at that.
Agreed.
Georgia Tech's disappointing. Their quarterback was pretty awesome, like at the end of last year.
Yep.
Now he sucks. And they got lucky against Florida State. But Florida State's not even that good. They were just beating other bad
I agree.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
I looked at this at 10%, right?
We'll be all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy. What did he throw like 5 picks last week?
It wasn't
And
good.
They just got to give it to Taquan. Just give it to Taquan and they'll cover.
His nickname here is Smoke, and I love when announcers and like local news people and stuff like that explain that it's because of his quickness, and it's not because of other reasons.
That's why. He doesn't smoke.
Yeah, and the funniest story about him was his first, I believe it was his first weekend he was here when he moved on. It's not campus, guys, it's grounds. He got in trouble, got arrested just a couple blocks from my apartment. Luckily, it wasn't anything serious, but that was an interesting start to a career. But yeah, he's the one bright spot from last week. I would love for it to happen. It's just all signs are pointing in the opposite direction, and it's hard to trust that it's going to happen. Though I did put a blurb in this week's MEP'S about 2011, the irony of we were 7-point underdogs. Georgia Tech actually came in 6-0. I think we were 3-2, coming off a 1-point win over Idaho. And I predicted the exact same score as I predicted for this Saturday for that game, which is really either I'm losing my mind or going in, and then we ended up winning that game outright. So if that's the omen, if that's me predicting the same score and that happens, I'll gladly go 6-1 for that purpose. But number 2, the Pokes, undefeated 7-0, flying under the radar. Mike Gundy's still a man. He's about 45 now, though. He's not 40 anymore. Only having to give 3 at Texas Tech. What am I missing here? Texas Tech sucks. They can score. They can't stop anybody, and they made Oklahoma look like Baylor last week. And I know that they almost got TCU in the one game that they played well as far as, for parts of the game on defense, but why are we only giving 3 if you're an Oklahoma State better this weekend?
There's absolutely no reason you wouldn't.
Texas Tech makes everybody think that they're kind of good because they beat the shit out of Kansas and they beat the shit out of Iowa State and all those teams, and they'll score a lot of points. But then, once they play anybody, the Baylor, the Oklahoma, Texas, TCU, they're just getting whooped. So I think Oklahoma State will win as long as they're not looking to all those other like real Big 12 teams that they have to play coming up.
Yeah.
I don't think they've played like TCU, Baylor, Oklahoma, any of them yet. So as long as they're not like looking for that stuff coming up, they'll look.
Don't look over them because they can score with them, but they should have no problem.
Yeah, and Oklahoma State's schedule at the end of the year is brutal, like you were talking about. But
they can only like 3 of those, and then like maybe mix in a shitty team.
Well, then you have them at the end too. So
yeah, I agree. I was absolutely out on Texas Tech the second that they had an early 14-0 lead on Kansas, and then I looked up and it was like 23-20 in the fourth quarter, and that was the last time I considered being positive towards Texas Tech this year. Because if you're in a 3-point game with Kansas in 2015, you're not any good. They might win 6 games and make a bowl, but they're like you said, they're not going to beat anybody that's any good.
there's a lot of bad bowl teams. So.
Yeah. Absolutely. There's too many damn bowls. Number 1 pick of the week, one of the MEP's all-time hated / favorite teams to bet against, the Idaho Potato Vandals in the Vegas zone, covering 4.5 at the worst team in the country, in my opinion, New Mexico State. New Mexico State somehow last week gave up 52 points to Troy. Troy is in the mix for the worst 10 teams in the country. Idaho, all of a sudden,